All right, everyone. Hope you're doing well. So going live with Mark Tyneway again. You probably saw him in it's like 3 videos ago, um, before the two Theta videos that I made where we talked about Handshake. So yeah, he's one of the Handshake developers. Want to say hi, Mark?
Hey, yeah, happy to be back.
Yeah, yeah. You got any Handshake updates for us?
Oh yeah, things are going pretty well in Handshake Land. A few different exchanges have started adding Handshake, and like we're trying to build some liquidity. There's like not very much liquidity yet at all, but yeah, I mean more and more auctions are happening, more and more names are being bought, and the cool thing is that every single time a name is bought, that HNS is burnt. So the more that the blockchain is used, there's this like constant deflationary pressure down, kind of on the supply. So yeah, lots of interesting game theory to happen. It's kind of like taking Bitcoin's game theory and then adding in some like fun new rules with like these auctions that all happen on chain and
Like
yeah,
Hex?
like Hex. I don't know too much about Hex.
I don't either. But to be fair, Hex has outperformed like every other top 100 coin over the last like month or two.
Yeah, it's Richard Hart's thing, right?
Yeah, that's the Richard Hart one. Yeah,
Yeah, interesting.
yeah,
And
yeah.
everyone just called it a scam.
It's not, to me, it's not a scam, but I don't trust it enough to invest in it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that
Because
makes
to
sense.
me, it doesn't have, okay, like Bitcoin has value because you can mine it to me. To me, like mining energy is the most important single attribute of Bitcoin because you're harnessing energy to mint the coins. You know what I mean? Hex has lots of cool game theory and it's deflationary and you can stake it. It has all this really cool stuff, but there's no like to me there's like no intrinsic value. And so if it has no intrinsic value, eventually it should probably revert to zero. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess maybe people just like trading it enough that it like
Yeah, yeah.
bumps
I
and
wouldn't be
dumps.
surprised if I don't. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes mega bull during the bull run. You know what I mean? Uh, yeah, it's an interesting. I thought, yeah, Hex is an interesting like thought process to me. All the like, I'm in the Bitcoin Cash community a lot, and they all think it's a scam. It'll go to zero,
Oh, really?
but you know, before BitConnect went to zero, it went to like $400 or whatever. So
Oh, yeah, I forgot about BitConnect. Haven't
yeah, you
thought
can always
about
trade. You can always just trade Hex, just day trade it. Maybe I'll do that, but I don't know what exchanges it's on. Speaking of exchanges, what exchanges has Handshake been listed on lately?
Here, let me bring up CoinMarketCap real quick, and I will tell you. So, Namebase is still
The top,
well, that's the one that I would recommend. They're legit. They follow all the rules.
right?
Um, but like one annoying side effect is like, you can't withdraw your HNS from the exchange if you live in America. Um, but hopefully America catches up with the times. You know, um, Now is a good time for like pushing through new crypto regulation or something probably. But um, yeah, so Handshake got listed on Gate.io and then MXC and Hotbit and also Finex.
I've used Gate.io. It doesn't seem terrible.
Yeah, yeah, same.
I don't know where they're based out of. It's not U.S. I don't think.
It's Asia for sure. Um,
Yeah, I used them when I was thinking about selling my T fuel. They were like the first exchange to have T fuel when
oh,
Theta
nice.
had T fuel on. You should check out my last 2 videos on Theta.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so what I talked about is so like going back to Bitcoin, like Bitcoin has value because it's like you can harness energy, right?
hmm
And it becomes like an energy transfer mechanism in a lot of ways, Bitcoin, or any proof of work coin really. But so Theta is kind of like a play on that, but it's like a bandwidth transfer mechanism. So
Mm.
anyone that has excess bandwidth, they can sell it on the Theta network. So if you have high speed internet that you don't use a lot, you can run the Theta program, and then other people will use your bandwidth to stream videos, and then they will earn Theta tokens or a T fuel, which is like the other like there's like two tokens. So it's and we live in a world where bandwidth becomes more and more like there's more and more bandwidth all the time because the internet gets faster.
Oh yeah.
And more people are using it, and so it's interesting. It's like so Theta could become like the de facto like marketplace of bandwidth.
Yeah, I saw some website that was kind of like a Twitch clone that was built on Theta. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, Sliver or whatever, Sliver. Yeah, it's like Sliver.
Sliver.
Or I think it's something like that. Sliver.io or something.
Yeah, Sliver.tv.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah. They have video game streamers, and then you can tip them T Fuel, and like you can earn T Fuel and stuff by you can lend your bandwidth through the. It's pretty cool. It's pretty powerful concept.
Yeah.
And it has like really powerful names behind it. Like Samsung's basically building the blockchain.
Oh really?
Yeah, Samsung and like some of the executives from like YouTube and stuff.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool. You should check that. I think it's a good hodl.
Good hodl.
It's a good one. Yeah.
So I'll have to do some research. My camera will be back in a second. Sorry about that. Yep, I'm back now.
You there, Mark?
Yeah. My camera will do that every like 15 minutes if I forget to like just give it a little tap.
Right. So we were talking a little bit about Bitcoin, the charts, global macroeconomics. As you guys know, my largest holding is Bitcoin Cash. There's been some good developments with that lately. So ABC got $1.5 million.
Really?
Yeah. Their goal is like 3 million, and they've got $1.5 million so far for Bitcoin node infrastructure.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So it's good. Amari's happy.
Yeah, I mean, give that guy some money to work on things.
Yeah, I agree. And people were complaining about like the tax stuff. I'm on Team Omri, dude, because he's got us this far, and to me, he's already proven himself. And if he had like bad motives or like if it was incompetent, we would know by now. But Bitcoin Cash keeps rolling out like very impressive updates to me, so I'm on Team Omri as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I mean, like Bitcoin Cash wouldn't exist without Mari, so.
Yeah, exactly. He's the one that fortune is like he's doing all the work to like most of the work to maintain it and stuff. And some people don't like his personality, but some people don't like Trump's personality. You don't have to have a perfect personality to be effective. All that matters is the results.
It's true.
I don't give a shit about his personality. I just wanted to know that he can like push the code forward. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it's better than CSW.
Yeah, a lot better. Yeah, a lot better. Oh my god. And also, they got they raised all the money needed for the Cash Fusion audit.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so we should have Cash Fusion in the Bitcoin Cash wallet within a month or two.
So the idea there is it's kind of atomic swaps?
No, Cash Fusion is privacy.
So it's like a coin join.
Yeah, but it's like a more advanced coin join because they used to have Cash Shuffle on Bitcoin Cash, which is like the coin join. But what this does, instead of just shuffling together all the inputs and outputs, it fuses them together. So like you can fan them in, and it's apparently it's better from a privacy standpoint, and it's more user friendly.
Interesting.
And it should like if enough people start using Cash Fusion, it should be almost like Monero level. So that's pretty exciting. Sick. And Roger he said he's gonna put Cash Fusion as default on all the Bitcoin.com wallets.
That's awesome.
Yeah. He's like it's gonna be turned on automatically with the mobile wallet that everyone has. And if you're watching this and you haven't used the Bitcoin.com mobile wallet, you should send someone or yourself Bitcoin Cash sometime. I've never seen a wallet that fast. Like you push send, like I slid it, and literally the second that I was done sliding it on my screen, it showed up on the other wallet.
Zero conf.
Yeah, dude, the zero conf, like I guess I don't know how they pick up the transaction so fast. I don't know if like it's the node architecture or whatever, but it's amazing. The zero conf is amazingly fast.
Yeah, I
And
guess
zero
as soon
conf
as
on
it gets in
Bitcoin Cash is pretty. Say that. What'd
as
you
soon as
say?
it gets in the mempool, they consider it like to be final.
Right, right. I'm just amazed. I didn't know that they could even pick it up from the mempool that fast, though. It was literally instant.
That's pretty cool. I mean,
Yeah.
hopefully you don't send large amounts of money into in like accept zero conf. It's a little risky.
Right, right. Yeah. For now, zero conf on Bitcoin Cash is pretty safe, though, from my understanding, because they got rid of replaced by fee.
Yeah, totally. That's the big
Yeah.
risk right there.
Yeah, yeah. And it makes replaced by fee actually breaks zero conf
Hmm.
in a lot of ways. People don't realize that. And so
Yeah,
Bitcoin Cash
totally.
has more secure zero conf than Bitcoin for several reasons.
Yeah, I
So
mean, Bitcoin doesn't want zero conf.
yeah, exactly. They don't want zero conf. They just want to hodl.
They just want to hold on. They'll never
Hold on.
send it.
Just want to hodl. They just want everyone to hodl on Coinbase.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of progress in Lightning though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We'll see with Lightning. Yeah, my
I
thing
think
about Lightning is if Lightning
oh, go on.
works, you can build it on other chains better. You know, but we'll see. I'm not super against Lightning. I think there's definitely a place for Lightning. You know.
Yeah, I think the main problem right now is that all the wallets are custodial. It's kind of dumb.
Yeah, yeah. It breaks a lot of the properties, but I mean, it's software. It should get better. To me, Lightning will never be as user friendly and it'll never be as powerful as on chain. But there's definitely a place for it. Like especially for like games and stuff where you can like aggregate some of the transactions. Like if you're playing Satoshi Dice or something, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
It's better. It'd be better if you like took it off chain onto like a, and then you just had a channel with like lightning with the dice. You know what I mean? And then
Totally.
once you're done with the game, and then you just go back to your chain wallet.
Yeah,
You know?
just settle all at the end.
Yeah, exactly. So there's definitely use cases for lightning. Some people are like super anti. Like it's too early to know all this shit. Like what's gonna
Totally.
work. You know what I mean?
We're gonna have to wait like 5 years to find out too. It's gonna be pretty long time.
Right, right, for sure. Um, okay, so yeah, cash fusion that'll be exciting for sure. And then yeah, so I was gonna go over some charts too. Mark requested it actually, and then I actually didn't think that you'd want me to go over charts. I was surprised that you'd ask that.
Now, like I mean, the charts are super interesting right now. Um, Bitcoin is probably at like Bitcoin is really on the edge of something big, either up
Yeah,
or down.
yeah. People say the halving can be priced in. They say it's priced in. You can't price in the halving. You can't.
No way.
You cannot price in a supply shock like that to as Trace Mayer calls it, a Bevlin good.
Hmm.
So Bevlin good is like in Austrian economics. I think it's from Austrian economics. So Bevlin good is just it's something. It's like gold or silver. When it experiences a massive supply shock, the price doesn't like just double. So like if like half the amount of gold was being mined all of a sudden, the price wouldn't double. It's elastic. It goes parabolic till it finds price discovery. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
That's how commodities work. And so that's how Bitcoin works. You can't price it in because with the amount of demand, if you assume that demand is steady, when the supply gets cut in half, the market way overreacts. You know, you
There's going to
can't.
be all sorts of second order effects that we can't predict,
Right, right,
especially
exactly.
with Bitcoin Cash and all these other blockchains happening. Like,
Yeah, yeah.
who knows what's going to happen?
And I think when Ethereum hard forks, they're going to reduce their inflation too, aren't they? Yeah. So I think Ethereum's right now it's below. I think its inflation is less than Bitcoin's. People don't realize that.
Hmm.
And I think when they hard fork, it'll continue to be. I think Ethereum's inflation will still be below Bitcoin's.
Hmm.
You know. Um, so yeah, let's go over some charts. That'll be fun. Let's see here. Share my screen.
I'm watching that triangle.
Let's see here. All right. Is my screen being shared on yours?
Yep.
I don't know how it'll record. Hopefully it'll record my screen. We'll have to take this part out if it doesn't.
Cool. Oh, we got some oil.
Okay, so this is a trade I did. I did USO oil. Okay. So, options can be a good play sometimes because they're high risk, high reward. So if we zoom out so I've been trading USO oil because it mirrors oil. So this is basically just the United States oil fund. So it's like oil companies in the U.S. Look at this. It's completely wrecked. Literally all-time lows. It's never
Wow.
been this low. Yeah, it wasn't this low ever. It's never been this low. And look at that volume spike. And so volume, we want to look for volume as a sign of a volatility peak in a certain direction. So how I was taught to use volume is that you use it as a climax. Okay. So if you have if you have a weekly chart, where it's cascading like this, and then all of a sudden you get this massive volume spike, that's a good indication that you've bottomed. Okay, because it's a volume climax. Because how markets capitulate is they capitulate with volume in either direction, either overbought or oversold. There's always a massive volume capitulation as well, where a lot of the shares change hands. Okay, and so I knew it's at all-time lows. Okay, the RSI on the daily chart is just completely destroyed. The weekly chart, it's oversold on the daily. It's oversold on the weekly. I think it was even oversold on the monthly. And what I did here is I did a play off of this. I bought my calls right about here at $4.30. And it's good risk reward. And then I sold it here just playing the oversold bounce because I knew on the weekly that we were due for a lower high. Okay, so we can see here we're cascading and then we're due for at least a lower high, eyeing exponential support. And then whether or not we make just a lower high and then continue down, that's to be seen. But I was just looking for an oversold bounce, okay? Because markets when they're oversold, they're always going to at least bounce, and so I was just looking for this inside bar bull break, which we got. Now what we're going to have to do is we'll keep an eye on oil. Oil is basically the same chart. I just chose to trade USO, but let's look at oil. Oil's the same thing. We're just looking for a lower high here on the weekly. Maybe somewhere around, I would say top would be like $35. And then we'll either enter an equilibrium and get tight, or we will just make a lower low on the oil chart. Personally, I feel like macroeconomics will probably just continue the weekly downtrend and we'll make a lower low and break $20 because the worldwide economy is basically shut down. And people aren't using their cars, people aren't flying on planes, and there's just no demand for oil at this point. At some point, if oil gets wrecked even farther, I will play the oversold bounce again, because eventually the economy will recover, I believe, and there will be demand for oil again. But right now, I'm just playing the oversold bounce for like a short-term flip.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
My question is, what's the deal with the gas prices not changing?
Because you live in California.
Because you live in California.
Yeah. Because you live in California, they adjust the taxes and stuff.
I see.
Yeah. Yep. Gotta love it. California. All right, so let's go. We look at gold. Gold held up very well, actually. Should we look at? Yeah, we'll look at the gold chart.
Yeah, I'm down to check out gold.
What's that?
Yeah, I like gold. I'm down to check out gold. I mean,
Yeah, gold. Yeah, gold's very important, right? It's probably the most important safe haven asset still. Although Bitcoin would like to take that title, it's not there yet.
one day.
Right. So so in the initial sell-off, gold did it. There's correlation to all markets. So oil dumped, stock market dumped, crypto dumped, gold, silver, everything dumped, real estate dumped. Just because there's a massive deleveraging of all asset classes, and when that happens, when there's massive volatility like that, there tends to be a lot of asset correlation, just because everyone is basically trying to uh, meet margin. Okay. But it's recovered very well, and we're almost back. We're basically back to where we were before the dump. So if you look at gold compared to like SPY, for example, to the S&P, the S&P is nowhere close to its previous high. SPY is a long ways away from making any sort of recovery. So yeah, SPY, we topped. Well, we didn't top out, but we bottomed here. Okay, same kind of thing. It's similar to oil. You can see the charts of the S&P and oil are pretty similar. Okay, so we dumped, and then we're making a. We'll go to the weekly since we looked at the weekly on oil. So yeah, all out dump. We have a bounce here going on, and then we're looking for a weekly lower high, and then we'll see if it holds support. I still think most likely is just a dead cat bounce. We get a weekly lower high somewhere around. I think there's a strong possibility we already topped out, and then we're going to make lower lows.
Yeah, I don't think the market is pricing everything in. I think that it's going down more. It looks like a dead cat bounce to me for sure.
Yeah, right. But we'll see. It's important not to. People always underestimate the Federal Reserve. People always, never. They say never underestimate the market's ability to stay irrational longer than you can stay solvent.
It's a very good point.
So it's important not to have a bias. But the most likely scenario is we set a weekly lower high, and then we're going to look to see if we hold support. And then if it tightens, we want to make a play off of that. If you're doing a trade, you don't want to assume it's going to go down or anything like that. Unless you're like some sort of like fundamental expert, and you're just But for trading, you don't want to do something like that.
Totally. I kind of feel
Bitcoin,
like over like
go ahead.
over like a few months, though, I feel pretty confident in the SPY trading lower than it is today.
Yeah, I would agree, most likely. So Bitcoin, you can see it's similar to gold in a lot of ways. We had a lot of correlation to the S&P during the initial cascade. Then we had, you can see that big volume climax. So you guys can see that you don't have to be looking for volume when capitulation happens, okay? And then we've had actually pretty nice recovery, okay? So anything above, put a line here, anything above 58.78 on Coinbase is just a daily higher low, actually. Technically, I actually made a higher low here on this little hammer on 661. So even if Bitcoin dropped here, it's important to realize that it's got about $700 of space to make just another daily higher low. Okay. One red flag is volume is dropping off. Okay. So we're probably, in my opinion, we're probably topping out on Bitcoin, and we're just making a weekly lower high again. And then I don't know if we'll come down and test 3,800, but we'll at least test it. We'll at least come down somewhat, I think, and we'll see if we we can change the weekly trend here. What Bitcoin wants to see is if it pulls back on the weekly, what you want to see is a lower high and then a higher low and then a trend change like that. How far down are we going to come? I don't know. Or we could just, keep cascading down. With Bitcoin, I don't know. It's hard to know because Bitcoin, first of all, you have to realize Bitcoin's never been through this before. Okay? Bitcoin has never existed in this sort of environment. So how it's going to react is very hard to predict. And then you combine that with the halving coming up, who knows? We could come down and go to 1,200 first. You know what I mean?
Totally.
One thing I am watching on the monthly is just a giant ABC. It could be something like this, where it's just an A, and then a B, and then a C wave.
Oh,
not to zero, obviously, but somewhere around 2,500 to 1,200.
Yeah, I mean, Tone was calling for 2,500, but he said he's over it now.
Yeah, to me, most likely scenario, I don't know. It's so hard to predict. I think we've topped out temporarily, it looks to me, with this volume dropping off. And then,
do you mind drawing a little triangle for us? we got the flat top, and then we have that angle going up. Um,
Yeah, I can draw so yeah, we got this angle here.
yeah, totally.
And then yeah, here's let's see. Yeah, something like this, Although this one
Oh,
only does it
oh,
in a
you see a
wick.
channel. Yeah, the wicks kind of broke that.
Yeah, I mean I don't use triangles.
Oh,
To
I see.
me, I just use price levels.
I see.
Yeah, he does something like this. It's a triangle here. But yeah, I mean it is a ascending triangle, which is a bullish thing. The thing is you would hope that the volume would be increasing.
Yeah, totally.
But that's not a super bad red flag. You don't necessarily need volume to push up. I mean, the S&P's been going up on low volume for years. You know what I mean?
And it is the weekend.
Yeah, exactly. It's the weekend. That's an important point. Um, but I'm still bullish on cryptos in the medium to long term because of the halvening. Also, I think people will lose faith in all the institutions, and the banks they'll start being bank runs and stuff, and people will just lose faith.
Yeah.
Um,
If you
and
look, like a lot of like exchanges are reporting like all-time highs in signups and stuff like that. So I think that's a pretty interesting point. It's like, you
right,
know, for retail, there's a huge demand for Bitcoin.
right. And then Bitcoin Cash, it's been mirroring Bitcoin for the most part. One thing I'm looking for on Bitcoin Cash is a weekly higher low. So we can see that Bitcoin Cash bottomed around 0.025 on the Bitcoin chart. Then it made a high at 0.048, and then it made a weekly higher low right here at about 0.028. And then we got a weekly equilibrium going on. So we'll see, we'll probably top out somewhere up here versus Bitcoin, make a lower high, then we'll make another higher low, and we'll tighten, and we'll see which way it breaks. This will be a very important chart for Bitcoin Cash long term, because if it can change this trend, it'll be in a long term uptrend versus Bitcoin. So that's something to watch for me. Ethereum, let's look at the Ethereum Bitcoin chart. Bitcoin's been holding up better than the altcoins for the most part when it dumps, which has always been true. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But when we were moving upwards, it's important to realize that altcoins were outperforming. Let's see Ethereum here. Broke weekly support. Let's look at the monthly. Yeah, it's kind of just a tightening range. It's kind of
Mhm.
similar to Bitcoin Cash. We got a low, high, higher low. So Ethereum double bottomed versus, oh, that's the dollar. Let's look at it versus Bitcoin. I thought that chart looked weird. We want the Ethereum Bitcoin chart. That's what we want. So Ethereum is actually in a monthly uptrend versus Bitcoin. Would you believe me if I told you that?
Huh. I mean, you only have like a couple months there, right?
It's been in a monthly uptrend for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, about 8 months.
8 months?
Yeah, it bottomed here. Yeah, it bottomed at 0.016 during the bottom of
Oh,
the
I
bear
see.
market, and
Okay.
then it made a higher low right here. Made a higher low at 0.0169, and then we're looking for another higher low right here. So Ethereum is actually in a monthly uptrend versus Bitcoin. Next resistance is going to be at 0.027. So yeah, Ethereum is in a monthly uptrend versus Bitcoin, and then it's like this actually looks a lot like the Bitcoin Cash Bitcoin chart. So Ethereum's also looking for a weekly higher low, and we'll see if it tightens or if we get continuation. But yeah, the Bitcoin Cash and Ethereum charts versus Bitcoin are very similar. They're both looking for continuation. But yeah, Ethereum's actually in a monthly uptrend versus Bitcoin, which is interesting. I didn't even know that. So yeah, if we enter in another bull market, it should be especially bullish for Ethereum.
Yeah, I think Ethereum's here to stay. They've got too many cool things happening in their kind of ecosystem.
Right, right.
Um,
Any other chart you wanted me to go over?
yeah, could you look up CryptoCap BTC dominance? It's
Yeah,
CryptoCap.
I have dominance.
Okay, you got dominance. Nice.
Here, let's see. So we'll see that it's definitely been stronger during the dumps. You can see here during the bull when we were going bull for several weeks, we can see when Link and Tezos were moving and everything. We can see
Yeah.
dominance going down, and then during the crash, dominance has been going up just because it's considered more of a safe haven.
Yeah. To be honest, I expect it to go up more. That's just kind of. I think that I think that this could kind of destroy a lot of the altcoins.
Well,
It could be like
dominance isn't a monthly downtrend.
That's
Right now
true.
we got it at inside bar, so it's getting tight. Um, we got support at 61.98, and then resistance is at 71.06. So it's getting tight. My guess would be if the market cap if the market goes down more, previous price action would tell me the most likely scenario is if we dump, Bitcoin dominance will go up, and then if the market we enter a new bull market, this inside bar will probably break bearish, and then alts will outperform again. Because what we've been seeing before is that during bull markets, well, not bull markets, but when price action lately, when it's been going up, it's alts have been outperforming. Like Link has been a lead bull, Tezos has been a lead bull, Bitcoin Cash at times has been a lead bull, but more so Link and Tezos, and alts in general have been outperforming on the way up. But yeah, we got technically it isn't a monthly downtrend though. Then we got an inside bar, and how this inside bar breaks on the monthly will tell us a lot about Bitcoin strength. Personally, my most likely scenario is if the market crashes, dominance. Oh, you hear that thunder?
Oh wow.
You hear that?
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah, it's storming here. Uh, if dominance will go the opposite of the market. That'd be my most likely scenario.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with that. That seems kind of like what's happened in the past.
Right, right. Let's see here. Yeah, any other charts you wanted to go over?
How about BNB?
BNB, I think is still pretty strong as far as alts are concerned. Let's see. You want to go over the dollar or the Bitcoin chart?
Bitcoin. It probably looks the same as a lot of the other alts, but Binance is just a really interesting company, and they're just like executing really well.
Yeah, we got a monthly on the monthly chart. You can see it cascaded. It tightened up here. We got a lower low and a lower high, but there was no bear follow through. That tells me I think it's probably bottom versus Bitcoin. Let's look at the weekly. Inside bar bull break with not a lot of. It's kind of just going sideways versus Bitcoin. To me, this chart's not a lot of decision. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It's just a lot of chop. We got a bear break here with not a lot of follow through, a long wick. Then we got an inside bar bull break with not a lot of follow through either. Probably the most clear is still the monthly. Yeah, we can see we're in a monthly uptrend for a while here. And then, yeah, if it moves up, I would consider this whole area just a higher low. Just because it broke bearish here, but there's no follow through on the monthly.
Hmm.
So, yeah, BNB's holding up pretty well. We see what Link's doing. Let's see what
Yeah.
Link.
Fundamentally, Binance, I think, is a great company.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of shady stuff with them. You ever watch Crypto Chico?
No, well, I heard of them, but I've never really watched them.
Yeah, there's a lot of shady stuff with Binance and Tether.
Oh, classic.
Yeah. Links there's not much price there's not a lot of price history with Link. Pretty low liquidity too. Let's see.
Maybe there a better exchange? Never heard of BitPay.
It's true, huh? I don't even know where that is. Let's look at Binance.
Yeah, Binance is probably the best one.
Yeah, it's a little better. Okay. Yeah, we're looking for. Technically, it hasn't changed its weekly trend to the downside yet. Um, we can see we need a lower high and then a lower low to actually change the trend. So, so I think it's still relatively strong. I mean, it dumped compared to Bitcoin, just like everything else during the dump.
Hmm.
But if we want to change that trend, it'd have to be something like this. But
Yeah,
yeah, it's
Link
holding up pretty
launched
well.
Link launched a bunch of stuff recently. Like I think they're trying to like partner with other chains now too and stuff.
And links in a monthly uptrend versus Bitcoin. You see
Oh
you
wow.
see you see how it's in an uptrend?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's versus Bitcoin. So we're just looking for a higher low. Anything above 0.00024 is just a higher low, and it keeps a monthly uptrend versus Bitcoin in track. And you can see if we do the percentage calculator. Let's see, what's the percentage? I don't use the percentage very often. I have to find it.
Oh, I think you can use shift and click, and it'll like give you like a little like percentage thing.
Okay, oh, here's the ruler.
Yeah.
So yeah, Link could drop another 25% versus Bitcoin and still be in a monthly uptrend.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So Link's strong, you know. This is the strongest monthly chart we've looked at.
Yeah, it's surprising. Not expect it from Chainlink.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's look at Tezos.
Tezos has been getting really popular, but to be honest, I don't know of any apps built on Tezos.
Tezos is also in a monthly uptrend versus Bitcoin. You can see this. We can see this uptrend here. See this? And then we made a higher low right here. And then anything above 0.00014 is just a monthly higher low. So Tezos has even more room. Tezos could drop 32% and still be in a monthly uptrend versus Bitcoin.
Dang.
Let's see here. Weekly, you could say it's in a weekly downtrend. So if it's in a weekly downtrend, we know that a trend change on the weekly uh, how we set our monthly lower high. Hold on here. Gotta go back. Tezos, Bitcoin. So we know that our lower high has been. Let's go back to the weekly. Yeah, right here. So we know our lower high was set at 0.0037. And the most likely scenario with this steep of a pullback is a tightening range. So somewhere we're going to bottom out. Either it might be here, it might be one more candle, and then we will probably make another lower high, and then we'll have a tightening range on the long term, most likely scenario. We know that equilibrium is the most likely scenario because of the size of the pullback.
Hmm.
It's too much of a pullback I would say, for a bull flag at this point.
Yeah, I can
Although,
agree with that.
although it's just probabilities, we could just see monthly continuation. It's all just probabilities.
You're pretty wild.
Tezos and Chainlink are in strong positions.
Yeah, so the only thing I really know about the development on Tezos is they're trying to go for like securities on chain. They're really focusing on that use case.
Right. Let's see. Stop sharing. What was it? Would you say it was securities?
Yeah, they're trying to like issue. They're trying to do like token-backed securities, like issue securities on chain as tokens. Um,
I mean, to me, the most important fundamental aspect is that first of all, it's been going up a lot, so it has hype, and you can bake it on Coinbase.
mm,
That's the most important. A lot of people, what I've realized in the crypto community is they don't think like just the average person. You know what I mean? Dude, I'm part of the Bitcoin Cash community, right? And like they literally think like they so like the mining proposal where they're going to take Coinbase rewards and give them to ABC. They were just freaking out saying it's going to dump because of that. Because no one's going to trust if that happens. No one's going to trust Bitcoin Cash anymore. I'm like, you guys, 99% of people, Bitcoin Cash is just the green coin on Coinbase. No one knows what the hell you're talking about. No one knows what a block root. No one knows about a miner proposal to take. Like, no one even knows what any of these words mean. It's just the green coin on Coinbase.
True.
So if Tezos is going up a lot, it can build hype, and you can stake it for like 10% with no work. Grandma can take some of her money and just earn 10% on it right away on Coinbase. Yeah,
That's a good point.
that's that's the biggest thing it has going for it right now, in my opinion, is the baking.
So
Actually, go ahead.
So, like normie friendliness is like important for like your fundamental analysis.
Yeah, like you could say it's the most important. You know what I
It does
mean?
make sense.
Yeah, I mean that's one reason why I'm bullish on Bitcoin Cash, right? It's like you don't have to like figure out the fee is on the wallet, and your transaction doesn't get stuck because the blocks are full, and and most people are gonna trust zero conf anyway because they don't understand that they need to wait for a block.
Yeah, that is true. That whole like waiting for a block thing confuses so many people.
Yeah, yeah, they just want it to be cheap, fast, and reliable. Yeah, and with Tezos, it's the same thing. You know, if you can earn 10% on it and the number goes up, you know,
Yeah.
that's all
So
you
the cool
need.
thing about Tezos is it does have smart contracts, sort of like Ethereum.
Yeah,
Um, but one thing that I learned recently was that, like in Ethereum, there's this concept of gas, right? Where like every single time your smart code like executes some code, like it counts how much like code is being executed and then charges you that much gas.
right.
Um, that's kind of complicated. Um, so like what Tezos does is like they don't really have a concept of gas. They just have like a max that you can use in a smart contract. So a smart contract can ever only execute so much code before it finishes. Where like in Ethereum, in theory, like it could execute as much code as possible as long as you like pay for the gas. Um,
Yeah,
so it makes it a little bit simpler to like think about the smart contracts.
that's cool. Yeah, I honestly don't know much about Tezos fundamentally. Like its whole self-admin, like its whole governance model, which I think is overrated. You can still fork it. You can fork it. No, you can't stop anyone from forking the code. Like,
It's true. No
like,
one's done it yet though.
yeah, no one's done it yet. But Omri actually said that he knows some of the developers on Tezos, and he says they're really good,
Oh, dope.
which was I thought was interesting that he said that. Like
Yeah, I mean,
from a technical level, he said some of their developers he'd worked with them before,
oh wow.
and he knew who they were. I don't know if he had worked with them, but he knew who they were, and he said they
Mhm.
were good.
Yeah, I mean, I believe it. Like they've worked on some really cool things. Like they were implementing Avalanche. I know like
On
Bitcoin
Tezos,
Cash is looking at they have an implementation of Avalanche. I'm not sure if it's running or not,
that's
but
impressive.
yeah.
Yeah, Avalanche is gonna be it's good. It's good. It's good stuff. I think that 32 megabyte blocks, SLP tokens, and Cash Fusion are probably enough for Bitcoin Cash to, you know, set set itself apart. But if you can get things like Avalanche, which are probably still Avalanche is still probably like a year away, you know.
It'll make ZeroConf safer, right?
Yeah, it'll make zero comp super safe. So because how it works is that like the nodes agree on the longest chain before a block is mined.
Because it's like like basically like the way that Avalanche works is it's like all the nodes, they all ask each other, like let's say that you got two decisions, like red or blue, right? Every node will ask every other node, um, what color, red or blue, and then it gets back all the responses, and
Hmm.
then whichever one is more, like red or blue, then the node changes itself to that color,
Right.
and then it progresses in rounds. So there's like maybe 3 or 4 rounds it'll take for 100% of the nodes to agree all on one color.
Yeah, one thing Omri was saying, I didn't really understand it, but it's a consensus model, so it doesn't have to be just for zero conf. You can use it as a consensus for changes in the code.
Mm.
So he was going to actually, Omri he wanted to use Avalanche to determine what developers the Coinbase rewards go to.
Oh, that would be cool.
Yeah, so so it'd use the Avalanche consensus to determine the consensus on how much mining rewards get spent to what developers, and that way be the free market.
That would be sick.
Yeah, it was interesting. I don't really understand it.
Totally. Yeah,
So,
I saw Emin Goon. He recruited one of the Bitcoin Cash developers.
yeah, it wasn't really a Bitcoin Cash developer though.
Oh,
I
wasn't?
think he was just like, he was working on it as part like he wasn't getting paid or anything. It was just like his free time was going on to Bitcoin Cash.
I see.
But I think they're like, "Hey, we'll pay you," and he's like, "Oh."
Sure, I'll take money.
Yeah, yeah, he was the guy. He was the main guy working on implementing Avalanche on Bitcoin Cash.
I see.
But maybe we can hire him back now that we have some funding, or we can hire some sponsor.
Well,
Probably the
yeah.
two probably the two most important things that I'm seeing. Well, at least in regards to Bitcoin Cash, is number one Avalanche, like as far as like future blockchain things in the next year or two, and then ZK Snarks.
Hmm.
Are you seeing anything else that really stands out to you?
Um, I think, yeah, that's a good question. I mean, ZK snarks are interesting. Um, they're really complicated. They're gonna like kind of change a lot of things. Like with ZK snarks, there's so many trade-offs, right? So you can trade off like proof creation time versus verification time,
Hmm.
right? So basically, like when you're validating a block, right? You need to like verify that every single transaction is correct,
Right.
and like you do some like cryptography to do that. If like you have like a zero knowledge proof that like proves that the transaction is correct, like that verification time might be pretty long, like compared to like validating like a Bitcoin transaction.
Hmm.
So like like you always have to think about how ZK snarks makes things better in terms of like the trade-offs that it gets you, because it might be able to like reduce the size of the transaction a ton, but then instead now the verification time goes up a lot. So like you have like this trade-off where now you can fit way more transactions into a block, but now you need a more powerful computer to like validate it.
Right, right. So you have to trade off like what does the network need more? Does it have need are the computers getting better or does it need more bandwidth? You know.
Exactly. So like right now, all of like the researchers, they're basically going in and figuring out like, what sort of zero knowledge schemes make sense and like what are all the different trade-offs that we can make by like doing it in different ways.
Right. The main thing that I've seen in regards to Bitcoin Cash is that you can make SPV nodes almost as safe as a full node because you can get a zero knowledge proof of the block header.
Yeah,
And
that'd
so
be
you, and so you don't need to know all the previous block headers. You just need the latest block.
mm,
And then the SPV node is basically almost has the security level of a full node.
yeah,
And
that'd be sick.
and the data is much less. You only need the 1-0 knowledge proof to basically know the history of the blockchain, which is like amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. So
that's incredible.
that's
That's if they
called
could.
a recursive like zero knowledge proof.
If they
Because
can implement that, that would be a game changer.
yeah, totally. Just getting one proof and being able to like that proof will prove that every block before and that current block is all valid.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is a game changer. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, like the Zcash team really pioneered a lot of this stuff, and now like Ethereum is working on it, and like I know there's like Filecoin, there's like a bunch of different research teams out there, like Cello. Do you know Cello?
No.
So like there's like a bunch of kind of new blockchain companies that are coming up. They're kind of like they're like VC coins. So like they're like invested in by like Silicon Valley like people, and Celo is one of them, and they're a fork of Ethereum, and they basically are all about having like zero knowledge proofs in the light client. So exactly what you're talking about with Bitcoin Cash, but they're trying to build like a smart contract like thing with light clients. And their first application is they're trying to make Venmo.
Yeah, my current investment thesis in the crypto sphere specifically is that there's too many chains,
Oh yeah, definitely.
and
Too many
and,
trades.
and chains are all way overvalued. Like like one that comes to mind is like ADA
Yeah, what is even Charles Hodgkinson
or
doing?
Tron or EOS. Like most of these chains, I think are just gonna die. And like long term, I don't think there'll be more than like 10 chains that are really used max. You know what I mean? There'll be
Yeah.
like Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Ethereum, maybe Ripple, maybe Monero, maybe Digibyte.
Digibyte's
Lightning
gonna come
probably.
back.
Yeah, I still have my Digibyte bag. They're still doing cool stuff. They implemented Dandelion.
Oh yeah.
They're one of the only chains with Dandelion. And a lot of the other coins actually they take stuff from Digibyte, like the DigiShield. They were the first to do that. So, but Digibyte, there's a problem. Like they don't have a lot of liquidity. They're not on the exchanges. It's hard to market it. Digibyte. It's like Bitcoin is digital gold, right? Bitcoin Cash. It's cash. It's digital cash. Digibyte. What is it? I don't know. You know what I mean? It's hard to.
Yeah.
So they have to find their niche. I think. Maybe it could be smart contracts like Ethereum. I don't know. But so yeah, like to me, it's like there's gonna be 10 major chains, probably more like five. Uh, Theta might be a major chain,
Hmm.
but there's just so many chains, and there's just not, they don't have the network effects of the other chains. And so
Totally.
you add in that like if second layer gets better, you
Yeah.
know, second layer might also destroy the use case of a lot of alts. So for me, like when I buy shitcoins, I don't buy currency shitcoins usually. Like I'm gonna buy a shitcoin just because I think that the a better play right now is finding undervalued utility tokens with like
Totally.
really disruptive business models. You know what I
Handshake.
mean? Yeah. Handshake. Um, some of the Cliff High coins too that just got destroyed. They're below ICO. You can pick them up for below ICO prices now, and it's
Really?
still like Pillars one.
Oh,
Pillars
no.
Pillars like 1/4 of its ICO price,
Oh wow.
and they've been building, man. They're doing some cool stuff. What it is, dude, it's like an app for everything blockchain. So all the stuff that's like they're like like Compound, like peer-to-peer loans and the wallet and payments and even sending like messages on Signal. They're just adding everything to the wallet. So it's like one kind of place. To me, like Pillar is it's like a blockchain services aggregator.
Hmm.
So you can like chat through the blockchain. You can send money. You can exchange value. So what they do is they have like in the app, they have like they just add in different exchanges, and then
I see.
it just gets you the best price from whatever exchange.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so they have like 7 or 8 dexes integrated into it, and then you just select what coin you want and what coin you're trying to get rid of, and it just gets you the best price from all these different like aggregating all the different dexes. Well, some
Wow.
of them aren't even dexes, but it has like they have Bancor integrated into it, and like Changelly, I think.
Mm.
and like maybe Shapeshift and like 5 others, and it just gets you the best price. Um, Also just like security, and also it's I don't know, you probably know about this. You're a developer, so they've upgraded to a smart contract wallet. And it's not key based.
Mm-hmm.
It's a smart contract wallet now, so they're trying to get rid of like abstracting away the private key.
Mm-hmm.
So they're doing it so you can like with a smart contract wallet and their new system, you can break up the private key and then you can keep parts of it. You can do a social private key where you have trusted contacts, and then like so your mom gets like a fourth of your private key and your dad gets a fourth of your private key. So if you ever lose your phone or something, you can contact all these people in your trusted contacts and that restores your wallet. Or also you can like store part of your private key in like a trusted computer or something like that. And they're doing really innovative things to try to get rid of the private key, which is like a big problem with crypto.
Yeah, it is.
Like most people don't get hacked. Most people that lose crypto, they just lose their private key because they forget where they wrote it down. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think like the thing with social key recovery is
Hmm.
like you should make sure that you share it with friends that are enemies.
Why is that?
Because like if you share it with friends that are also friends, then like they could
Oh,
like all work together and basically take your key without your consent.
oh, you mean enemies in regards to each other?
Yeah.
Oh, I
You know what
got
I
you.
mean? Like
Yeah, yeah.
like if you give it to like too many friends in the same social group,
Hmm.
then like they could, because it's always like M of N, right? So if it's like two of three and you give like one to like your mom, one to your dad, and then you have one yourself, and like you do something terrible and your parents are pissed at you, then they could just steal all your money.
Right, right. So yeah, I think that's a utility token I'm watching, and it's like a fourth of its ICO price, but they've been building for 3 years. You know what I mean? Same thing with Populus and Veritasium. You know?
Oh, Veritasium. Okay. So, like, what's up with Reggie these days? He's making some videos on YouTube I was watching.
Oh yeah, he's super bearish. On the economy. He says like half the banks are gonna fail.
Wow.
And Reggie Middleton, I trust him as an analyst probably more than anyone. He's one of the best financial experts in the world. Like he and yeah, he says we're gonna enter a depression. He says like best case is like it's a bad recession. Best case.
Damn. Yeah,
Reggie's
see,
yeah, it's like best case is like bad recession. Medium most likely case is depression. Worst case is like societal collapse. You know what I mean?
yeah, totally. Hopefully not that.
Yeah. I think most likely in Europe it'll be a depression with some societal collapse, and then in America it'll be a depression or really bad recession. You know, I
Yeah.
think I think in places like France there probably will there'll be societal collapse. I think in like France and maybe Sweden and Germany. UK will be a lot better off because they can print their own current. They have their own currency,
Mm,
and they left the EU already.
just in
And they're
time.
Yeah, and they're more of a natural ally with the U.S. and they have like some like the demographics are better and stuff like that. So I think, and London's still a major financial hub.
Mm,
So I think the UK will be better off. It'll be like a depression in the UK, but I don't think UK society will collapse.
yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah,
hope not.
yeah. So Reggie's shorting some of the. You can buy some reports on his thing on the very on the DApp. The DApp's really cool. It's too bad the SEC fucked him.
Yeah, what exactly was the deal with that?
Oh, they just said he did an illegal ICO and like misled investors, and they just made a bunch of shit up.
Because
Like,
like Vary isn't listed really anywhere. Like I feel like the only place that I've ever been able to see Veritasium is on Ether Delta.
yeah, it's the only like centralized exchange that you can buy it on that is somewhat trustworthy is Market Talks.
I see.
Yeah. That's the biggest market is still on Market Talks. I usually just buy it. If I buy it, I buy it off of Fork Delta though. Usually, I've used Mercadox though, and I've never, actually with Mercadox, I've never people never had heard of anyone getting like, fucked over by Mercatox. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, don't keep your coins on there. But yeah, if you want to use them, just withdraw your coins immediately. You know. But yeah, I actually signed up. I used an LLC to sign up for the DApp. That's pretty cool. They were one of the first, like, so they KYC you through your Ethereum address. Your Ethereum address becomes your KYC on the DApp.
Mm.
So like your customer, like they know that you have control over the private key, and so if you just sign a transaction with that private key, that becomes your KYC, and then your identity your identity is tracked through your Ethereum address, which is it's really slick actually.
Makes sense. It's how you should do it.
Yeah. They're actually the first DApp to do that I saw. So, and they have other cool things with like you can buy the precious metals on there still.
Oh yeah, like the V Gold.
Yeah. What they need is just they need traction and regulatory clarity. But for how wrecked the price is, it's still a good risk. A lot of these utility tokens are so wrecked. They have the risk reward is way skewed. We're in a situation where if you find a winner, $100 in one of these utility tokens might turn into like a fortune. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like if one of these companies become Google or Microsoft, a couple $100, can turn into hundreds of thousands possibly. So
that'd be pretty sick.
Yeah, you don't want to go. Well, I would never recommend putting a large portion of your net worth into them, but the risk reward has gotten way skewed, in my opinion. Same thing with Populous.
Populous. Are they still? They're still kicking.
Yeah, Populous is probably closest out of the three. So they're building like an exchange that's going to go live in like a week or two, and it's going to work like Binance, where PPT is like the base pairing, and then all the fees are burnt through PPT, like the Binance model.
Yeah.
And how it works is all the money they get from the fees goes into like their fund where they can, and then that fund is what they use for liquidity for the invoices for invoice factoring.
I see.
Yeah, and then they also have a business analytics platform where companies can sign up to use their business token to it's XBRL data, which is basically just like financial data of like any corporation or like business. So you can you can buy the PXT token and then you can use it to buy reports on companies. So you can see like how much debt the company has, what assets they have, number of employees, their like debt to revenue ratios, and you can like create reports. Which is pretty cool. And then the revenue from that also goes to the liquidity fund. And then you can use the Populous as well to bid on the invoices.
I see.
What makes me bullish on PPT is the tokenomics. So one, it's got the Binance model, which is a powerful token model, right, for making the token have a lot of utility. And also, it's one of the only lending platforms I've seen, like especially with invoices, where the token is used like as the collateral. So if you think of something like Salt, the token sucks because you can't what you need is a way so that if it's like $100,000 loan or something like that, or however much it is, you need to be able to use the utility token to capture that value. So if it's a like $100,000 loan, that means you have to take out $100,000 worth of liquidity from the utility token pool. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's one thing that's nice about Populous is that you can bid, if it's like a $10,000 invoice, you can bid on that with $10,000 worth of PPT. So it's sucking that out of the liquidity. And as the platform grows, you can actually just you can do like a simple equation where you know what the value of the token is based off how much invoices they're going through per month. So and it's another it's completely wrecked. It's below ICO price. So you can the risk reward. You put $100 in that thing, and man, who knows, right? Worst case, it goes to zero, and you're out $100.
Yeah, I mean it's
You know?
pretty cool that they're still around. I mean, I feel like I haven't really heard much from them since like 2018.
Yeah, they've been building, you know. And the thing is, with the risk reward, they're below ICO price, and they've had 3 years of building for all these tokens. You know, they've had 3 years of trial and error, 3 years of, you know, trying to figure out what they're doing. And so, yeah,
Well, if we can get to the other side of society collapsing,
yeah, yeah,
maybe they'll pump again.
yeah. Right, right. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. I think we're looking at the data though. We're probably going to enter into depression.
How long do you think that's gonna last?
Well, for crypto holders, we'll be a lot better off. I don't think it'll be as bad as some people think it is. Will be. You know what I mean? At least here in America. You know,
Yeah, because
America
like
still has a lot of American wealth is still pretty widely distributed. You know, there's a lot of landowners. We still have property rights for now. We still have gun rights for now. You know what I mean? We still have Trump for now. So, and this will be Trump's legacy. How he deals with this will be Trump's legacy because I knew when I voted for him that the economy was going to collapse. I voted for Trump. I think a lot of people,
you there.
um, best case scenario is we go back to a gold standard and get rid of the Federal Reserve, and then he releases deep state tech, and we all get free energy devices. That's best case.
That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah. Worst case, well, let's not talk about worst case. Let's not even talk about worst case.
Yeah.
I'm still positive on the future, though. You know,
Over the long term, it's
Society,
just the next couple of years.
yeah, and everything happens for a reason. You know, no one's worrying about gender pronouns right now.
It's true. I mean,
Yeah, you know, society. You know, with society, it makes you realize what's important. You know, what's important is all that's really important is your health and your family and living a, you know, happy, healthy life. And so, hopefully, a lot of people will get back to that and local communities and learning like growing food and getting back to like more of a barter system. And I think it'll be more of an asset and commodity based society. You know, where it'll be like, you know, there won't be as much debt, there won't be as much abstract value. It'll be like, man, like if you have property, you're rich. You know, it'll be like people who own property, people who have precious metals, people that actually have like, you know, businesses that are involved in commodities like miners, like gold mining, oil, um, lumber,
hmm.
you know, lumber companies. Um, you know, I think it'll go back to more of a commodity based, which is how it's supposed to be.
People might have to learn actual skills again.
Yes, yeah, yeah. Most millennials will have a very rough time. Yeah, it's just the truth. I'm a
Yeah.
millennial. I know. All my friends are millennials. Trust me, I'm around millennials. Most millennials are gonna have a very rough time. They don't know anything about money. Most of them have student debt. Most of them have zero skills. Like, it's just the truth. Yeah.
Yeah.
But most people will figure it out though. And you know, and when we start to figure it out, you know, it'll probably be, in my opinion, it'll be like the 1800s, and it'll be
Hmm.
the fastest economic boom we've ever seen. Because I mean, if you combine, you know, property rights and how America is supposed to be, and like maybe we get rid of like capital gains tax, and we get rid of income tax and stuff like that, and then people are using, you know, we're all using Bitcoin Cash for peer-to-peer commerce. You know, the smart ones like Elon Musk will always rise to the top. You know, and you know it should be a boom. You know, and there'll be a lot of technological gains with 3D printing And so I'm not super doom and gloom. It'll be rough for a while, I think, but I think we go through amazing. It'll be like a renaissance. It'll be like after the Great Depression, we got the Roaring Twenties.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it'll be SFI says it'll be the Soaring 20s.
Wait, wasn't the Great Depression in like the late 20s?
Yeah, not the. But there was like a crash for the Roaring 20s.
I see. It was like
No.
around like the Spanish flu, like 1918, 19.
Yeah. So maybe after the coronavirus, we'll have the Roaring 20s.
The
Soaring
Roaring 20s redux.
Yeah. We'll see though. I'm positive. I'm pretty positive about the future.
Same. Yeah, I'm just worried, like, being in a city, not really
and
having a lot
you're
of
not just in a
space.
city. You're in San Francisco. Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, there'll be riots and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I am preparing myself for sure.
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
some plywood I'm ready to put over the windows if I need to.
Yeah. We'll see how bad. In cities like Seattle, like Portland, San Francisco, there'll be LA. There'll probably be riots.
Yeah. What do you think about like Occupy version 2?
What does that mean?
Like Occupy Wall Street? Like I feel like once people kind of start getting on their feet and the virus is kind of more under control, do you think like a new Occupy movement could take off?
Yeah, and it'll revolve around cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, it'll be pretty interesting because one of the people that worked on Occupy is actually working on a cryptocurrency. Um,
Yeah, with cryptocurrencies we can opt out. We don't have we can make a new system. We don't and it's actually amazing because it's never existed before. We've never been, you can download you're only an app on your smartphone away from opting out. That's what I do. I don't keep any money in the bank. You can if we all want to, we can just starve the beast.
Bank run.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I've been on a bank run for 2 3 years. I only keep enough money in the bank to pay rent. Literally all
Nice.
my money is in crypto or precious metals, all of it. Like I have and it's even better. Even the dollar, you can keep nowadays. You can keep USDC on your Trezor,
Hmm.
and so you can have USDC is federally regulated, dude. It's better than money in the bank account because they can't do a bail-in on your Trezor, and it's fully regulated and audited. So why even keep money? And you can take that money, you can go put it in one of these lending platforms. You get 10% on your money,
Yeah,
on
it's
your
pretty crazy.
and you're holding dollars. So remind me why there's any reason to keep money in the bank.
It's true. I,
Yeah.
I'm gonna look this up right now. I'm gonna look up the rates on Compound. Um,
Yeah, for stable tokens, it goes over, it hovers like it can be anywhere from 8 to 12%.
oh, right now it's pretty low though.
For what,
It
USDC or
just
what?
dropped. Yeah, lending USDC is only 0.5% right now.
Really? On what?
Yeah. Go to DeFiPulse.com. You want to share this?
Yeah, let's see on let's see here. Well, this is DeFi though, right? I'm talking about the more centralized ones as well.
Oh,
Like
totally. What is that one that you can do with like Bitcoin and USDC?
Celsius. Uh,
Celsius.
Another one is Cred. Where can you see the rates of all those?
I'm not sure.
I don't
BlockFi,
know.
I think, is a good one.
Yeah, so there's Cred rates.
Okay,
Cred
yeah. BlockFi is the best.
Credit's pretty legit. Let's
Is
see
it?
here. Yeah, they partner with Bitcoin.com,
Oh, damn.
so they take Bitcoin Cash. But last I looked, they're like 10%.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know, but the fact is, you can get a much better percentage. What is it called? DeFi Pulse?
Yeah.
What's the web address?
.com.
DeFiPulse.com.
Yep. Yeah, so this is a good website for kind of DeFi things. And if you click lending at the top, at the very, very top, um, yeah, now you can click like DAI, and you can see all the rates.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, DeFi is not as good. It's safer in some ways. I actually think DeFi is overrated for now. But
Yeah, it's hard to compete with centralized things like BlockFi or Cred.
right. But they'll get better, you know. But yeah, even with like going with things like Cred or the other more centralized ones like Celsius,
Mm.
yeah, you have to trust them, but it's like a bank. You have to trust the bank. And eventually, they'll more and more of them will have insurance.
Yeah, that'll be interesting, like a smart contract that has insurance, and or even
Yeah,
like
and the centralized ones will have insurance too.
yeah,
You know, yeah, and if it's insured, against loss or theft, you know.
FDIC.
Yeah, exactly. Um, and so if you get FDIC insured, you know, in like 10% interest on a U.S. dollar regulated stable token, banks are just there's no reason to. And so going back to like Occupy, that's an important thing is that everyone, we can all just start using Bitcoin Cash, man. We don't need banks. Fuck, we don't need to bail them out. And most millennials are already broke.
Most millennials are already broke. It's true.
Yeah, who's gonna have the roughest time is boomers. People have the retirement like the pension system, like in
Oh,
California, dude. Anyone that has a pension in California is fucked. That pensions are fucked, and most state and county pensions. Like if you're depending on dude, they're all bankrupt,
damn.
and it's gone.
Everyone's gonna have to go back to work.
Yeah, yeah. It should be yeah. So if you're a broke millennial, don't have like who cares if everyone's bankrupt? You don't have any money anyway.
Well, like you're gonna be paying off that debt into your future, like growing up, right? Like you're gonna have to deal with the consequences.
Of what, like the national debt?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's well, that will be Trump's legacy is how he deals with the debt. Is he gonna declare bankruptcy? Is he gonna refinance it? Technically, we can just not pay it. It's a corporation anyway. The national debt is just the debt that American citizens owe to a giant corporation in charge of our money supply, known as the Federal Reserve. At any point we could just be like, we're not going to pay this, so we're going to go back to a gold standard or something.
Trump hates the Federal Reserve, right?
Yeah, well, yeah, he's talked about it before, and there is some evidence that he wants to go back to a gold standard, but I doubt that gold will ever be used as money again.
Yeah, I mean,
Probably
it's just
we're gonna be
it's
using
not very
blockchain.
visible. It's too
Yeah,
heavy.
yeah, it's a great store of value though. You know what I mean? It's a great, if you want to hold wealth, it's a great way to store wealth. But I doubt you'll be buying coffee with gold. With cryptocurrencies, I don't see why you would.
I'm
I mean,
I'm I'm bullish on BTC. Lightning for that, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, we'll see. It's got to get more user friendly though.
It's true. I just think that the network effect, right? Like money is like the most liquid thing in your economy,
Hmm.
and I think in the cryptocurrency economy, like Bitcoin is definitely the most liquid one.
Right. Yeah, it's fascinating to see how it all play out.
Cool.
Definitely
Yeah.
want to hedge yourself. Like, even if you think Bitcoin Cash is going to win, you should probably own some Bitcoin.
True.
Yeah, even if you think Ethereum's going to win, you know. Even if you think Bitcoin's going to win, you should hedge. You should own some Bitcoin Cash and some Ethereum, probably. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Maybe a little BSV too. You should own all the forks.
What's that?
Why not a little BSV too, just in case?
Yeah. In case you get, okay, just in case Craig Wright is Satoshi.
Yeah, I don't know if it depends on Craig Wright anymore though.
No, it doesn't.
There's some pretty cool things like do you know 21E8?
No, what is that?
It's like a market for basically like proof of work, right? So the idea is, I think this is so interesting, right? Basically, like you kind of, if you want to create something that you want other people to pay attention to, then you send a transaction to the blockchain that includes proof of work over an important piece of information, right?
This is on
And
BSV.
this is on BSV. So let's imagine like an advertising network, right? Where
Mhm.
there's an advertising network that basically is constantly scanning the blockchain, like pulling out these like specific types of transactions, right? And anytime it sees a transaction that has this proof of work construction in it, then it'll look how much proof of work was done. And if it was more proof, if it was enough proof of work to be put on the leaderboard, it's just like automatically onto the leaderboard, and then it gets broadcast out to the advertisement network. So then anybody can just like freely, participate in an anonymous way in this network where it like basically ranks importance. And like you would never want to waste proof of work, right? Because it's costly. So you'll only ever do proof of work on things that you think are very important, that you want other people to see.
Right. The problem with the BSVs, it comes back to the community seems to think that they don't want it anonymous.
They don't want it anonymous, you're right. But this idea could technically work on a different chain if we wanted it to.
Yeah, they could build it on Bitcoin Cash or something. Yeah, the problem with BSV is like they have misconceptions about what the blockchain is. They think that they think that they're gonna sue everyone and become the real Bitcoin. It's like, dude, you're gonna sue Bitcoin? What are you talking about? You're talking to them is insane. Oh my
Yeah.
god. They're just like don't. Yeah. And I think that they're not going to be able to. Anyone could build a coin mixer that uses BS. Like you could build a coin mixer on top of BSV, and so they think that they're not going to be able to control it. I don't know. It's BSV is something else. But if you
Yeah,
wanted to hedge, yeah, buy a little bit of BSV.
for
Yeah.
sure.
To me, I like Bitcoin Cash because it's like in the middle. You know what I mean? It's like the porridge. One's too hot, one's too cold. Like you want to select like the middle path. Yeah.
It makes sense. It makes
Yeah.
sense. I just BTC is so much more liquid. It's hard to convince me otherwise.
Yeah. It's and Bitcoin's not going anywhere. Even if Bitcoin's gonna go up no matter what, pretty basically. It might not perform as well, but
It's
even
true.
then, even if it doesn't perform as well as some alts, it's still gonna go up. It's not gonna I don't think it's gonna die anytime soon. Although I do not buy into to me the whole store of value narrative doesn't work with something can't be a store of value just because it's scarce. It has to have secondary utility. You know what I mean? So I think that's important. Being a store of value doesn't make it a store of value. And I think they lost sight of that. And eventually, if for something to be a store of value, it has to have a secondary use case that's like widespread throughout society for it to become money,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Bitcoin still does have, even though it's not great for payments anymore. Well, at least for small payments, it still has lots of use cases. You can margin trade with it. You can
Yeah,
lose it on. You can give it to Arthur.
give it to Arthur.
Yeah,
Yeah, like you're totally right. Like how gold is used in like rings and stuff like that. Like
yeah.
I've been trying to imagine how you could do that with Bitcoin. Like, like a physical manifestation of like some amount of Bitcoin that could only ever exist.
I don't think it has to necessarily be physical, but it has to have another use case besides the stored value. Payments is another use case.
Yeah.
So smart contracts is another use case. You know, um, I think the thing that will really happen in the beginning is no one's going to use crypto. People are going to use stable tokens in the beginning.
Mm.
So I think it's whatever network actually can handle the most stable coin transactions. So I'm most bullish on people using things like Tether and USDH and DAI on like something like Bitcoin Cash because they can handle a lot more transactions. And then what will happen is that as people get used to stable tokens, the underlying asset will become more of a store of value. That's what I see playing out. But um, people, yes, you know, Tether is still the most used payment coin. Because most of it's
Yeah,
happening in
totally.
China.
And like the
So
circulating supply of the stable coins has been going up so much.
yeah, yeah. And I think what will happen is like people will build like atomic swap. So when you get Bitcoin Cash or whatever, it'll just instantly convert it into a stable token. And then
Oh,
the blockchain just becomes like the
settlement.
trans yeah, the settlement. It just becomes like the transfer layer. But um, I think that's gonna start to take off. They're building it on Bitcoin Cash where with the register app, when you get the Bitcoin Cash using SideShift.ai, which is it's kind of like an atomic swap thing on Bitcoin Cash, it'll automatically
They're
swap
sick.
it to it. What's that?
They're sick.
Yeah, it'll
I like
automatically.
SideShift.
Yeah, what's gonna happen is like when you like Bitcoin.com wallet, you'll be able to set it to where like whatever percentage of the Bitcoin Cash you get in sales, you get it per transaction or whatever, you automatically get converted to whatever percentage of stable token.
Mm.
So what you could do is like 99% of your revenue gets put into a stable token, but maybe you'll keep like 1% of Bitcoin Cash as like a bet or something. But that'll take off because you get the best of both worlds.
Mm.
You get the finality, the cheapness, and the fastness of blockchain without the processor fees, while getting the price stability.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that'll be the next big wave with merchant adoption, at least, is people just using stable tokens.
Just got to survive this apocalypse.
Yeah, make sure you have enough cash on hand. That's for sure. Learn how to grow some food. Have some gold. Have some physical gold and silver. Learn to code.
Learn to code. Yeah.
You're already
Well,
ahead on that one.
yeah. Yeah. Pretty much all I do these days is code. There's like nothing else to do.
Yeah, I mean that's good. You're set. And then I mean people are gonna need coders. People are gonna need quality coders no matter what, basically. You know. So you should be good for a job.
Yeah, and even like in like a true apocalypse scenario where like the tech companies all like crash, then like I'll figure out how to like program radios or something to make myself useful.
Yeah, yeah. Or you can just hack DeFi loans.
Hack DeFi loans. It's true.
Yeah, you can just you just figure out smart contract exploits.
I think North Korea does that, to be honest.
That wouldn't surprise me. They're probably mining Bitcoin too.
Yeah, yeah, they
Yeah.
need that income somehow. That is like,
Well, I think the deep state is balls deep into Bitcoin.
Really?
Think about it, dude. If you're like if you're like part of the thing like Jeffrey Epstein, if you're part of like the pedophile network, what's the one asset that can't be seized by the U.S. government?
It's true. It's true.
You
Yeah,
know,
you think
Bitcoin's just a medium. It can be used for good or evil.
like the whole Epstein thing is just crazy. And like I feel like everyone forgot about it, especially now.
Oh yeah, that's the coronavirus. All right, I got it. It was fun chat. I gotta get going here.
Yeah, it was a long one, but
Yeah, yeah. It was fun though. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Went over some charts, gave some updates, gave our thoughts on the world and where we're
yeah,
going from here.
yeah, it's happening. Thanks for having me on, Luke.
Yeah, yeah. And look for more videos. I don't know what next video I'm gonna make. Maybe I'll do a technical analysis video. But I will talk to you guys later. All right, bye. Gotta stop recording.